Good morning. Ohayo gozaimasu. We have our sports teams in a tournament, so they were here for a very early service at 8 o'clock. So a bunch of them were here way before we got to the temple. So it's nice to see them. They had a big group here this morning, and still so many people here this morning. So welcome to our spring Ohigan service. In Japanese, it's called Shunki Higan E. Spring season, other shore gathering. So this was all explained to us earlier by Ruth. Other shore refers to the other shore of enlightenment, as opposed to this shore of human life and suffering. So traditionally, Ohigan is a week-long observance, March 18th to March 24th. So today, I hope we can tie together Ohigan and the 6 paramitas, guides for living a proper Buddhist life. Ohigan is one of our major Jodo Shinchu services, a Japanese Buddhist service observed twice a year during every spring and autumn, the time of the equinox. The days and nights are of equal length. Weather is generally not too hot, not too cold. The harmony of nature and the universe surrounds us, but not only surrounds us, it permeates us. It's a time that is conducive to study, meditation, reflection, and we're encouraged to consider our own lives, what it means, and what we're doing with this life. At our temples, rituals are utilized to direct our attention and thought. All Buddhist schools recognize the ego, human self-centeredness, as the cause of our problems and the sufferings in our lives. At every service here, we make offerings. We oshoko and offer incense. We gassho and offer respect. We have offerings. We look at the altar, and we have flowers offerings, rice offerings, fruit offerings. We see apples up there. What else is up there? The greens represent pure, clean water, fresh water. Candles are offerings. Each of these items are offerings. Okay? Chanting is an offering. We make these offerings for ourselves to step beyond our self-centeredness, to break through our ego-centered shell. Even something as simple as 1 pinch of incense. Crack this shell. Crack this shell. Step beyond and connect to all else. As Shin Buddhists, the Sangha gives us our greatest opportunity to make these offerings that move us beyond ourselves. Ohigan is a time to recognize the harmony of the universe that surrounds us and to recognize the Buddhist life that puts us in tune with the rhythms of the world. Please listen to this quote. Join me in gassho. If the entire world is not happy, then there can be no individual happiness. Our consciousness of the self must expand gradually from the individual to the group and then to society and the universe. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. This quote is by Kenji Miyazawa, who was a writer of Japanese children's literature. Miyazawa could recite Shindan's Shoshinge by memory at the age of 3. He was fascinated with the Tanisho as a middle school student, so he was influenced very early by the Shin Buddhist teachings. In his quote, Miyazawa is saying that individual happiness is tied to the happiness of others. He's saying that working alone and as individuals is the starting point, the beginning. From there, we work not only for others, but with others. We learn to work together, and in doing so, we expand the self from individual to family, to group, to society, to the universe. Miyazawa lived only 37 years. He repeatedly wrote about the oneness of self and other. In the early days of Buddhism, and in many schools still, the 3 treasures that we recite each week referred to the historical Buddha, his teachings and the monks who practiced those teachings. Lay people like us gave offerings of food to the monks so that they could continue their practice. There was a clear separation that the monks were closer to Ohigan, closer to the other shore of enlightenment than we were. Shinran turned this model inside out and upside down. His writings revealed and exposed the life of monks to be just as limited, just as imperfect as ours. They weren't closer to enlightenment than lay people. Their lives too were just as full of greed, anger, ignorance, jealousy, envy, and desires as anyone else. For we who live the life of Nembutsu, the three treasures refers to the Buddha, Amida, reality itself, Dharma, the teachings that reveal this reality, and Sangha, all of us who live within the Nembutsu, fellow travelers along the path of everyday life. This is a significant change in the understanding of the three treasures. Some people want to come to a conclusion of what Buddhism is. They want to figure it out and to label it. They want to say, oh, I get it. It's about interdependence and impermanence. It's about compassion. Now I know what Buddhism is. Now I can move on and learn about composting, or collect recipes, or take a yoga class. It's not a conclusion. It's a process lived and shared. We're never done. Never done. Without the sharing, the understanding is empty. Understanding is wisdom. Sharing is compassion. Wisdom and compassion are the two aspects of the Buddha. They are the two aspects of our own lives. Wisdom and compassion must go together. This is why Buddhism can't be an individual practice, an individual thing. We can learn about the Nembutsu or the Dharma, but until we share it, it's incomplete, even empty. Higan means other shore of nirvana, enlightenment, the Pure Land, as opposed to this shore of samsara, suffering, daily life. We're encouraged to study and meditate while focused on the 6 paramitas, the 6 perfections. Okay, stop, hold. Time to connect the dots. Higan. Higan is Japanese for other shore. Okay? Paramita is Sanskrit for other shore. The 6 paramitas are practices to get from this shore to the other shore. Okay, moving on again. The 6 paramitas are considered to be the practices needed to move from this shore of daily life to the other shore of enlightenment. 6 paramitas are, they're listed in your program. Dana, giving or generosity. Sila, ethics or right behavior. Kshanti, perseverance or endurance. Vidya, diligence or effort. Dana, meditation. Prajna, wisdom. The usual lesson is that by practicing these, the 6 perfections, we improve ourselves and progress along the path to awakening. In Shin Buddhism, again, the teachings turn the Buddhist model completely upside down. We might try to be generous or ethical and work with perseverance and diligence, but we fall far short of perfection. If we look closely, we can see that our efforts are always self-serving, always tainted with ego. Because of this, we're not going to make it to enlightenment on our own. But in reciting the Nembutsu, we at once recognize our ego and our limitations, at the same time go beyond the ego and connect to the realm beyond ourselves that is limitless and infinite, the realm that we're calling Amida. This is not so strange or out of the ordinary. Pay attention. Pay attention. When things go well, ego and self-effort is replaced by harmony and balance. When we hear or play good music, ego and self-effort is replaced by harmony and balance. When we see or make good art, ego and self-effort is replaced by harmony and balance. The 6 paramitas are usually looked upon as a list of precepts to work on so that we live our lives better and move towards enlightenment. But they are also a description of life properly lived. One year, the temple I was at had a project to host a district-wide convention. As the convention weekend was finished, Mike, the convention chairperson, went to the head of our transportation committee to acknowledge the work that they had done. Transportation went really well. You did a nice job. What did Jim say? He said, I didn't do nothing. He was saying, no big deal. I don't need the credit. I didn't do nothing. This is just an example of many things similar that weekend and every year here at our bazaar or spring food festival. The drivers of the transportation committee and our crews here cooking chicken agree to take on the assignment. This is already dana, selfless giving, and sila, right behavior. They didn't decide to be more Buddhist for the bazaar that weekend. They just committed to put in the time and the effort that was needed to get the job done. Because they made this commitment, kshanti, patience, and vidya, effort, take place. Jim didn't tell his crew in the parking lot, hey you guys, let's practice the 6 paramitas. No, but as we set our mind to the job at hand, these things happen. This mindset is the calm, clear, and focused mind of dhyana, meditation. All of these things taking place is done by setting the self aside, and this is prajna, wisdom, the mind of Buddha. Our own minds are not replaced or altered, but we work in harmony of self and other. I and Buddha. This is Namo Amida Butsu. Whether we're a part of the sports committee or the National Council Committee, the BWA, Nembutsu Jagathon, the ukulele group, or the choir, we look to work in harmony of self and other. I and Buddha. This is the way of Namo Amida Butsu. With the mind of Nembutsu, the 6 paramitas occur. Okay? With the mind of Nembutsu, the 6 paramitas occur. With the mind of Nembutsu, again and again and again. It occurs naturally. Not we're trying to make this superhuman effort to be perfect. No. So many people work in this manner in each of our events, and that is why the event goes well. The Pure Land, the realm of the Buddha, is harmony in action that emerges when ego gets set aside. This is why Buddhism has such odd sayings like there is no doer, nothing is done, everything just is. Descriptions of oneness and life beyond duality. The Buddhist life is not an abstract goal that is far away or beyond reach. The Shin Buddhist teachings show us that the life of Nembutsu is a life of balance of self and other. In that balance, the Pure Land emerges, the 6 paramitas occur, and so do all the smiles. How do we get there? You look around, find a need, jump in and help. Do what you can and just say, I didn't do nothing. Or say, Namo Amida Butsu. Please join me in Gassho. If the entire world is not happy, then there can be no individual happiness. Our consciousness of the self must expand gradually from the individual to the group and then to society and the universe. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Thank you.